you were never yourself. It always feels
No,
like I'm dealing with other people when I'm talking to them in their face.
for good reason, to my defense.
I think it's always a good reason to protect yourself by pretending you're different people. And he turns to Andrea and he says, "You said you killed a lot of people, yet you
Yes.
seem to be the friendliest one of this group."
Well, that was all mostly in my past. I was a gladiator for 12 years, champion. Uh,
12.
but
She was a very good one.
hmm,
She's still
I've learned,
alive.
that's true. But I learned that as valuable as it is to be able to swing a sword or cast some fire magic, a lash of a tongue or the dash of a pen have much more power.
I like to think that deflection, deflection from others finding the truth is the real power.
It can be, absolutely. Your secrets will keep you safe to an extent. The key in it all, I would assume, is to know who you can tell the truth to.
Including yourself.
Absolutely. I like Bostwick. Secrets have kept me alive for a very long time, and as have the people I've known to confide in. My family here, these people, they're my people I can confide in. Other than them, it's a bit tricky.
And before your family, when you had to just be by yourself in that arena, I presume you put on an act, yes?
Had to. Yes, absolutely. When you're in an arena, you have to project yourself as the strongest, the most charismatic, and the best. You have to, otherwise you'll be killed.
So whatever personality makes sense.
You're an odd duck, she says. But might I say, the moment we met, while you were hostile to my family, and that does bother me, that doesn't stop me being bothered by that. I see a lot of my husband in you. You're a bit brash and spiritual and willing to put yourself in danger for those that you care about, yes?
They're my family. We're all part of one organism.
But you moved
The head,
first.
the heart, spirit, the blood.
You moved first. That is admirable. The others might call you brash, but you did what you believed was right in the time.
I'm going to tell you something that I haven't told my family. And he looks around to make sure everyone else is lost in their own conversations.
I mean, Bostuk is still there. I don't know if you care.
Boswick is fine. No one else. I think the biggest secret about me is that none of it is real. It's all an act. The world is a stage. All my behavior isn't real.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Chase. We put on the face that we need.
Because we fight in the arena.
Yes. And if it is an act, it's still an act of bravery. To act a certain way in spite of your fears, that's what courage is.
There's one thing I fear above all else, and that's the truth.
The truth of what?
The truth.
Bear in mind, I'm never going, I don't know you, so it's alright if you don't want to tell me, but...
I mean it as the pure, the singular notion of truth. the kind of idea that takes on its own form.
I think that goes a little bit beyond my own ability to grasp. I think that's a little bit over my head, my friend.
Andrea, are you a good person?
My good person. I try to be. It's been a difficult journey the last year. What of you?
I'm trying to reach the end to find out.
You seem slightly lost.
He raises his sleeves, he unzips his hoodie, and she can see the writing on his arm, and because he's been bathing more recently, she can see the scars up along his arm. He says, these scars, they all have a story, but the scars that don't always show on the surface are the scars that are within. They're a little harder to heal, a little harder to identify. And all you can do is challenge what you're willing to bear. So when I cut myself, it's not because I think blood is very important. Blood is like fire, and I think it's granted to us by the gods. That's why we live.
Just so you know, blood has a bit of a different meaning here. But, like, that being said, it is very powerful. And if you believe it to be a gift from the gods, far be it from me to question your beliefs. You come from a different world with different rules.
I think that's part of me trying to uncover the truth, though. When you say I come from different worlds, I don't think so. I think that we're all part of the same world.
Perhaps. So what is the significance of cutting yourself if it is to do something for your gods? Is it sacrifice?
It's exactly what it is. When I get angry, when I want to do harm, when I want to kill someone, I feel like I have to bleed as a sacrifice to make sure that others can live. I don't want to ever get to a point where I have to kill someone.
I
But I've
understand that.
considered it.
Might I recommend something other than self-harm?
If it'll achieve the same results, your husband could probably learn a thing or two about how I deal with rage.
I'd prefer if he continues doing what he does, which is go to pray to Andraste. But
Andraste?
Yes, she is the guide of Andrastians, Thetis' main religion.
She showed them the truth.
She does light the way. She's the beacon. She's the light. She is the guide to the Maker's side. And those who follow her feel her warmth and the Maker's smile, from what I'm told.
When you're married to a Templar, you kind of absorb these things. I'm trying to embrace, at least understand your religion, honey.
Andrea will certainly start feeling. Yeah, she feels a warmth emanating off Chase at this point. It's not a harmful warmth, and he starts whispering. I've heard words. I've heard phrases in my dreams. This Andraste you speak of.
Yes.
And the heavens did weep, and yet no rain could extinguish the flame. Is she connected to flame?
She is the flame. That's very weird. She's like, yes, that's the chant.
Does she teach people that power exists to serve the living and not to rule over them?
Magic exists to serve man and never to rule over him. Yes, that's her teachings. Chase, we believe in a thing called the Fade, and I know it's a factual thing. It's not a thing because I've physically been there, so I know it's a thing.
Dream world.
It's not just a belief. There is a thing in our world called the Veil. The Veil separates physical from spiritual. Does that make sense so far? I know it's kind of existential and weird, but you're following?
Absolutely.
For my world, we are all made of the Fade, other than the dwarves who are made of the stone. But we are made of Fade. And when we go to sleep at night, it is the Maker's commandment that we return to him in our dreams. So in the dreams, we enter the Fade, so we sit at the Maker's side.
Where is this Maker?
The Maker exists in the Fade. The afterlife. It is where we go when we dream. It is where we go when we die. If you are having dreams of Andraste, they were probably sent to you by either a spirit or by Andraste herself. You may be hearing visions that are leading you to something.
I saw Blackened City.
A blackened city, yes. It was once gold, according to the scholars.
Forever shut.
It was tainted when mages entered it.
And then the heaven filled with silence.
They were filled with hubris. They did not belong there. They were wrong to go before they died.
And Chase raises his shirt.
Wait, what?
You see a bird carved in it. Tattooed. Flame bird. And he puts his hand up against his heart. And he says, "And cross my heart with unbearable shame."
Who are you?
I don't know.
Yeah, does it look
Chase-
like any?
Chase
Does it
starts
look
to
like a
shake.
ptarmigan or anything? Or
No. Describe what the bird looks like again.
It actually looks
Chase.
like the logo of the Dragon Age Origins,
Ah,
but it looks like a flaming bird.
it looks like a flaming bird, but like the logo of the Dragon Age logo. So it's something that's familiar to you. It's something that's very native to Thedas. It's very Thedas native.
I think the simplest way is for Andrea to just see it as a dragon that, because there's no phoenixes in Dragon Age 2 as far as I'm aware. It's just a dragon of fire.
So it looks like a dragon.
okay. I'm going to tilt my head. Does this mean anything to you, Bostwick?
This looks like a recent addition. I don't remember ever seeing that on you a couple of months ago.
I don't remember putting it there.
It looks like a depiction of a dragon, but from our world, not that any dragon that's from their world. I'm about as baffled as you are, actually.
I should like to take him in the Fade.
He would
See
sure
who
like
this
you
man
to
is.
take him. Can you get me into the Fade?
Only sort of. You are not a mage, so to my knowledge, can you just like cast magic? Just like
I don't know. He picks up a paper and it goes on fire. I don't know.
I would say maybe, yeah. Why don't we maybe find a place to meditate, and I'll take you into the Fade.
Thank you.
I should like to find out who you are, why you're here.
Before we went through the portal, by the way, I was able to text my brother. He's going to go take care of your mom. All right?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
guessing you must be worried sick.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I wasn't able to get anything out before it rushed us. I'm glad you had that forethought.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, me too. I just hope that everything's okay back there.
Me too.
I mean, I agree that chances are Giratina was only after, a select few, but what if there was collateral damage?
Yeah, that also has me really worried. And Chase's reaction to, so what?
I'm not happy about that either. I mean, I know Chase will be Chase, but...
Yeah, but I'm the one that kind of held off and slapped him.
A lot of things have happened since we got here.
Yeah.
Well, since you can't find Andrea, since Chase and Andrea went off, Noir would go look after Fabian again. And probably get approached by Theo.
Yeah, he's just gonna kind of wander over, looking kind of awkward. How's your boy doing?
He's okay for now. But if they want him to stay okay, it's going to hurt him.
I'm sorry.
Well, she kind of like leads you away. She tells you it's going to hurt him in your head. So after leading you away, she'll go, yeah. The gods after me because I was given a choice, an opportunity to have a wish granted. Well, 3 favors rather. And one of those favors I wanted to bring back my family. But the being that gave me that wish wasn't powerful enough to do so. For all of them. I could only pick one. So I picked Fabian because he was the youngest. He didn't really get to live very much of a life. And he doesn't really have any other family except for me. So if I hand myself over to the god, he will lose the last of the old family he has. But it seems to be the only way to get rid of the situation because we can't fight a god.
I understand that better than you know. I have a daughter, and I'm the only thing that she has. My wife died.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's probably not much.
It's fine. But I have the same problem or dilemma, whatever you want to call it, that you had. And I had a mission to do. I was going to save the world, but I was the only thing she had left. If I didn't come back from that alive, I was taking that away from her again. She had already lived without me.
But what if giving yourself up is the only way to save? What if leaving is the only way to save? What would you do? Because if Giratina finds Sabian, they shut her up to it.
But if they're not stopped, what would that mean for your world?
Means Giratina would be pleased. He has me. That's all he wanted. Probably enough to appease him. And others can find some way back safely and everything will be fine again. I didn't belong there in the first place.
It doesn't. Your greatest fear is for him to be alone. And you can either give in and Fabian loses his family. You can try and fail and Fabian loses his family. Or you can try and win and Fabian gets to keep you.
How am I meant to win against something that's unbeatable?
I was a merchant. And I defeated forces that threatened to tear Thedas apart and bring the Fade down. Thousands of people rested on what my group did, and I was part of that. And all I knew how to do was make poisons, potions. And that was all I was good for. I didn't have any special powers. I had love. I would have done anything. I died to protect my child. And I came back stronger still for her. I think if every decision you make is out of love for Fabian, you'll know what to do.
What if it gets a whole lot of people caught up in a mess? Because if I do fight a god, it seems to be the only way to get rid of it, if not, and stay with Fabian. That would mean people would die in the process. People who have their own families to go back to. And Fabian doesn't really need me. He just needs someone to look after him and care for him.
No, he needs you. I don't know you, and I don't know Fabian. But you could see. You know him. You know how to take care of him. And you were the only person he wanted to be near when his world was falling apart. I don't mean to put pressure on you, and I don't mean to tell you what to do, but don't liken yourself to everyone else as if they could care for him and know him the way you do. You may not be his parent, but you are what he has.
Thank you. Sorry to telling you this. I just can't really talk to anyone in my group about this. They have all their own troubles, and there's dumped a massive one in my laps.
So, something
right to talk to him.
Some things you can only say to strangers, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any magic words, and your doubt may well linger long after you leave here, but everything I've done has been for her, for my daughter, and if his face is in your mind when you're making these decisions, then it's the right one, whatever you decide.
Okay. I'll try and find a loophole.
Your team seem pretty capable. You might be able to do it.
Yeah, Molly's she's been enjoying some food. She's been enjoying some drinks, and she's gonna look over at Kenna, and then she's gonna motion to Bullet and ask him to follow her. And she's gonna approach Kenna. So, You can talk. You can talk to our Pokemon, right?
Hmm.
Uh, I want to know. I want to know if you could maybe help me talk to Bullet a little bit. Something's bothering him. I need to find out what it is.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Yeah. So Molly turns to Bullet and she says, "Bullet, is this about the vision we saw?"
When he followed Molly, he had tried to put on, a little smile because he likes Kenna too. She seems nice so far. She had cookies and stuff. But at that, whatever he had managed faded away.
Whatever you want to say to me, you can say to Kenna, and then I'd like to know exactly what you're thinking about.
He seems hesitant, but looks to Kenna as though making sure it's okay or whatever.
It's cool, buddy. I give him a cookie.
Like you gave him another one?
Yeah.
He takes a little nod of thanks and like nibbles on it a little bit, collecting his thoughts, and then
Are we allowed to touch him? Can I pet him?
Go right ahead. He won't hurt you.
I touch him.
So then he'll take a breath before he begins, and he'll just say, "Yeah, the first time I was able to actually talk to Molly where she could understand me, it was really cool, and I got to congratulate her on getting married, and talk about how she has to give up her firstborn and all of that cool stuff. But then we saw something that was really bad. And I just don't know what to think about it, really."
Oh, I'll just tell them word for word what he's saying, so you guys can talk to each other.
She can repeat
Yeah.
what he says word for word.
Yeah, that way you guys can just talk, and I don't have to repeat it.
Right.
Yeah. Molly says, "I thought so. I know it bothered me too." And she looks at Kenna and she says, "Well, short story is we saw a vision of a possible future, and well, we died in that future."
Oh.
I've raised this big guy since he was a baby. And seeing him lose heart after seeing that vision, it's really heartbreaking, you know?
What gave you the vision? Or who?
There's a member of another group. They're not part of our group, but they're still involved with us. He has this ability to dream, and whatever he dreams comes true. And he was able to give this vision to one of our group, and then we all ended up seeing it. So it's quite horrifying seeing your own horribly disfigured body lying on the ground like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just that we died, though. I mean, what I saw, it was my fault.
How?
I don't know exactly, just... I don't know if I dropped her, or if something shot me down, but... She died because I couldn't hold on to her.
And this dreamer, you take his words to be truth always? He's never been wrong, ever?
His visions are always true, but he's started to figure out ways to work around them so they don't have to be true. But if we fail in our mission, that could very well be our future.
Where does this dreamer get his power from? Are they visioned from gods? Or is it just his own ability?
Well, we have this god. He's called Darkrai.
Whoa.
Yeah, the name just sings happiness, doesn't it?
Sounds
I don't
pleasant.
think so.
I'm with you there, buddy.
Well, I think Stephen was getting his visions from Darkrai, and it's kind of a warning. But the good thing is, at least he's figured out ways to stop them from happening. But still, knowing that that's our future if we fail, it puts a lot of pressure on us, and we're already under a lot of pressure.
And we don't even know what failing means.
That's true.
Like, how do you not do something if you don't know what that thing is?
I know that feeling. I understand what you're saying. Trust me. Like, destiny and fate, they're tricky. When we were facing our own problems, we were shown multiple futures based on some of our choices that we could make. And they were horrifying and some were amazing. And I'm just saying, I don't think you should think of the end game. I think you should think about each other. I think you should think about focusing on your own bond and making sure that's strong. Because then, what am I trying to say here? I see a lot between you and him, what I see in me and Esbjörn, who's still probably sleeping now that I think about it. It's fine. But there's a bond that's unbreakable. And failing, winning, as long as you have each other, you won't fail. Rely on each other and don't put that pressure on yourself. Remember to just be strong for the other person. And fate, it's destiny. It's complicated. It is.
Always.
So what we saw, you don't think it'll actually happen?
No. I think your fate is what you make of it. You choose your outcome.
Well, I don't want us to die.
Decide that. Then don't die. There you go.
It's that easy?
It's that easy. Like,
Oh.
you be the best for her, and she is the best for you. And you trust in each other, and know that you will always do the best for one another. And everything else, that's all you can do. You can't change anything else except being who you are and focusing on that aspect of your relationship.
I guess I'm pretty good at being me.
Yeah.
Molly
Don't.
Molly will. Yeah, Molly will look at Bullet and she'll pat him and she'll say, "You were really blaming yourself this whole time for what we saw?"
Well, it looked like it was my fault.
Bullet, remember a few nights ago when I jumped off your back?
Yes, I do.
You understand why I did that?
I think so.
What do you think? What was my reason for it?
I mean, I thought you knew I'd catch you.
Of course, exactly. I completely 100% trust you with my life. Every time I get on your back, I trust you with my life. And I jumped off, not just to prove it to you, but to prove it to everyone.
So you really think we'll be okay? And we can keep flying and stuff?
You love flying. I know I can't keep you from the sky. And Molly will she'll reach into her bag and she'll pull out the stress ball, which is in the shape of a moon. The stress ball is colored black on one side, so with that, when you spin it in your hand, it looks like the phases of the moon.
Oh, that's so cool.
And she says, you know the moon has a lot of different phases, right, Bullet?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so bright that you can see everything almost as well as you can see it in the day. But sometimes it's completely black and you can't see anything. But when it's completely dark, she turns it so that it's completely black, facing him. She says, even when it's really dark, you have to believe that the light will come back later. And she keeps spinning it.
Ooh, I make it glow.
Yeah, you can make it glow.
Yep.
I make it glow.
So hearing that and seeing it, he can't help but start to grin a little. He says, and then I could do my crow Batman thing.
Yeah, you looked great in that. You looked great in that Halloween costume.
Wasn't a costume.
Okay, fine. It was your clothes, your normal clothes. And she hugs him and she says, actually, Bullet, I want you to have this. And she puts the stress ball into one of his saddlebags, closes it, pats it. A piece of me will always be with you, no matter what happens, okay?
Oh, well, you're not going anywhere. And he'll wrap his wings around her.
And she will hug him back and she'll say, you can never really promise anything, but we will do our best, all right?
No, she said that if we didn't want to die, we just had to not die. So if we always want to be together, we just always have to be together.
All right then. Well, I do need to give more romantic flights to Alicia, so if you don't mind, we can keep flying.
And how fast can I go? Do you think she'll like it?
I think Alicia prefers a safer flying, but whenever you're with me, go as fast as you want.
Okay, just let me know and I'll take care of the rest.
She pats Bullet and she turns back to Kenna and she says, so, you disappeared completely back there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that exactly?
It's an old Avarian trick. You wouldn't know about it. Sorry.
An old Avarian trick?
Part to be an Avar. We can all do it. I feel really good.
Huh. Well, can the Avar do this? And she says, can you look that way for a second?
Doesn't look okay.
Does she?
That way, sure.
All right.
When she turns
and knocked out.
No.
No.
Kenna will turn away, and when she looks back, there will be a potted plant sitting where Molly just was.
I can't speak with plants. What?
She can't speak with plants. Do you want to talk to the plant?
She has to. if she wants to interact with Molly in any way now, she has to pass an intuition or occult education. So whatever the equivalent of that is.
So
can
we'll
I stick with
I'm gonna
plum?
say religion or magic. I'm gonna say
has-
religion or magic roll.
It has to be.
Okay.
It has to be at least 18 because Molly has
Yeah.
virtuoso.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So try to roll high.
Okay.
18.
Hmm.
She got an 18. So
That's exactly 18. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So
wow.
yeah, while you're looking at the plant, the illusion will fade and you'll see Molly again. Like I want to imagine that it fades in and out for a second and then Molly appears again.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. What? It's crazy.
Didn't I tell you she's the best?
She's the best. I'm sure. That is a really cool trick, though. I like that.
It doesn't really compare to disappearing completely.
No, I suppose it doesn't.
I suppose it does.
But it's pretty close. That is pretty neat. I mean, you can fly, so you beat me there.
Well,
Pretty amazing.
well, can you do anything like this? And she uses double team.
I can.
Yeah.
She splits into two.
Splits into two people.
Mirror image of two.
I think I can do that. I've done it once. It doesn't last very long, but I can do that. I have to roll for it though.
Oh,
It's called oh goodness.
Molly doesn't have.
It's like a blow chick. You do? Well, if you wanted to see past it.
Let's see.
Oh gosh, what is it? It's 3d6. You guys, what is it? The rogue thing. It's like a blob. Oh, it's right here. There we go. Communication versus their willpower.
Yeah, go ahead. Communication versus their
And then if I
willpower.
use my bracer, I can make a mirror image appear for like a brief second.
Yeah, you can.
But it doesn't last as long as yours. So you
Right.
beat me again. Damn it.
I'll just say that she will be doing something similar to double team, but it doesn't last nearly as long as yours does.
Right.
Pretty good. All right.
So Molly smiles and nods, and she says, "Well, and she's looking around, and she says, "What do you think? You want to see who's best at sneaking?"
Sure, we can try that. Well, how do we decide who's the winner?
Let's see. And she's looking around at the food carts. Is there anything of note on the food carts?
Well, I mean, they still have food on them. Like, are you trying to steal something? Or...
No, please. Too late, Theo. Get back here.
All right.
Um,
Well, what's the best food on all of these carts?
Probably aside from the pastries, which I personally love, there's probably a sweet roll. I don't know.
Sweet
Over
roll.
Here. Sweet roll.
Okay.
All right.
Steal the sweet roll. You're the sweet roll bandit.
Okay.
Well, and Molly will reach into her bag and she'll pull out a hyper potion. And she'll say,
Oh.
How about whoever does a better job stealing a sweet roll gets the sweet roll and also gets one of these, and it's a hyper potion."
What is that? A hyper potion.
It's a kind of
It's like
medicine.
coffee that Cedric makes me drink.
Well, it's a kind of medicine. You don't drink it. You actually just spray it on yourself, and it can heal. It can heal injuries.
Oh, okay. Sure. All right.
Do you guys mind if I play too? I don't need a prize.
Sure.
I just want to have fun.
Okay.
Sure, Bullet.
So all three of you can make your stealth checks, and that'll determine who steals the sweet bun the best.
It's probably going to be the
Roll your
giant
stealth.
bat.
Probably.
Probably the giant bat.
Crawling on his wings.
27. Oof, wow.
Whoa, his
Wow.
stealth actually got an upgrade.
Wow. Okay.
Do we add a bracer roll if I'm turning invisible?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ah, girl.
Park /
Oh,
Roma,
my
would you
God.
say bullet
Oh.
stealth?
Oh.
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 What is it?
Okay.
Liz?
I was just gonna ask, with bullet stealth, would you say that's based upon him flying? Like, would there be penalties if he's crawling, or should I just roll it as is?
Just roll it as is. Let me just see what it is.
8. Oh, it rolled poorly anyway, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
What is
No.
I was just expecting him to do poorly and was surprised by how big the dice
He like
was.
bangs into a cart, which falls over, and of course they're like, which is enough to distract them from Kenna and Molly from going over to try to attempt to steal the roll. However, if you were to numerically compare the two, Kenna was slightly better at her stealth than
I let her
Molly.
take one, and then I take the whole tray and turn it invisible.
Yeah. That's what she does.
So yeah, Molly's got her one sweet roll, and she's like, okay, fine, you win.
I think we both won, and then we'll go share the sweet rolls together.
They sneak behind a cart and like.
Nice. So Chase and Andrea going off to meditate? Is that what's happening?
I think so. I think I'm going to wave at Cedric before I go, though. Like,
Okay.
He's got Kyle. He's fine.
Yes?
Yeah, we're going to go check out some things. Fade-wise, I'm pretty sure that Chase is a mage. Yeah, so I'm going to figure that out. She's like,
Shall I watch over your forms while you're in the Fade?
I'd prefer it, yeah. Chase, this is you haven't formally met. This is my husband, Cedric. He is sworn to defend us while we're, doing magic-y stuff.
I'm sure Andrea has told you all the dangers of the Fade. Know that if you are taken control of, I will act accordingly before you hurt anyone else.
He won't let you hurt anyone. It won't, it'll suck for you, but he won't let you.
By control.
Demons yes, they like to take control of mages.
Chase, it is a dangerous place. You'll be with me. I need you to trust me. I'm going to summon a spirit to protect us. She is the spirit of purpose. She will defend us from those demons. But
He interrupts
I'm
you.
sorry?
He interrupts you. Does the spirit have a name?
Purpose. That is her name. Usually spirits lose their worldly names.
Is devotion a spirit name?
What? Yes. She's like, okay, yeah, that's the name of a spirit. Yeah. Either way, you stay with me on the other side. I will keep you safe. He'll make sure that we don't do anything wrong on this side.
Chase pulls out the sword thing, the Team Rocket sword, unflared, and he hands it to Cedric. And he, without pointing it at him, he does flick the switch, turns it into a fire sword, and then he flicks it back off, and he says, I don't want a second chance, you understand?
I
He
understand.
hands him the blade.
Cedric will take it and then follow them to wherever they're going to meditate.
Okay. While that's happening, everybody else who's not in that group will still be in the food court area. And Kyle actually will pull up a chair in front of Bostwick. And he leans over, he leans in, he's got his hands clasped in front of him. And he says, Mr. Bostwick. Yes, Lieutenant Jenny. You haven't yet told us, the lieutenant asks, how exactly you ended up in, I suppose, our world. Oh, yes. Well, it's a very odd story. So, there's a really bad man, a head mage who, he's rather corrupt, and he didn't really like me or my people, my servants particularly. So he sort of put up a bounty on my head and all my servants. He managed to capture my servants and proceeded to torture them to find out where I was. I was not really happy about that little arrangement, so I went back to attempt to free my servants. And, well, I was trying to do it in such a way that I could discreetly rescue them and we could all be off on our merry little way. Yes, funny how plans go sometimes. Didn't quite work out that way. So, instead what happened, I was captured, tortured quite a bit as well, and I figured that we probably did not have much of a chance to escape our fates. By that point, I think about a dozen of my servants had perished during the torture, and there were about 24 left, I would say. When there we were lying on our cells, and a curious figure appeared. A figure that you know as Hoopa. Yes, Hoopa. He seemed a little, the creature was, I was very curious. It didn't seem like any demon or anything that I was used to, and it seemed a bit, occupied, because it was holding onto some sort of sack in its hands, and was looking around very curiously. I attempted to communicate with this creature, couldn't understand a word he was saying, so I tried to cast a spell, and I was able to not perfectly understand everything he was trying to tell me, but I was at least able to find out that he wished to hide something. Hide these plates that he had in this pouch. I told him that I didn't know anything about plates, but if that was what he wanted to hide, I asked him if there was any chance we could do him a favor for a favor. I asked if it was quite a bit of a trick for him to suddenly appear before us. I asked him if he could do it again, maybe 25 more times. And he seemed to make a deal with us. I would help him hide these plates, and he would help us escape our predicament. Unbeknownst to me, the rescuing did not necessarily take us out of the Magister's estate. It completely took us out of this universe entirely. So, yes, we stashed the plates into one of my safes, and as soon as that was done, he agreed to take us away into your world, it seemed. And I had a little bit of magic left and was able to glamorize everyone to have new identities and start afresh. Meanwhile, I decided that with all of the sins that I must pay for in my previous life, I should probably repent by living a life of poverty as opposed to a life of riches. And that's how you all found me.
Reminds me of the sweet rolls we have on plates over there. I'm gonna go get one.
Trust me, not the same thing.
So freeing Hooper was the good move? Because you guys ended up alive.
I think we're ignoring the fact that he was talking about the plates. Can we
Yeah,
focus on the plates?
what do
Kyle
you know
says.
about the plates exactly?
Yeah.
The plates, I assume they must be Arceus plates by this point.
Yeah. Are you tracking them or something? Do you know where they are?
Like I said, we put them in my safe before we left.
Can we get to said safe? Please?
I suppose you could. It's back into winter, last I checked.
That's fine. We'll go wherever.
How far is it?
Oh, from here? Frostbacks?
A few countries. No big deal.
I mean, if you were to go by horseback, several
Horse?
weeks? A couple of weeks?
Looks
What
confused.
about Crobat?
What about a Crobat?
I don't know how fast Crobats can fly, but I mean, an airship can probably get there in a day.
Wait, this shit has airships?
Easy, Cassie.
Last time I checked, we had airships, yes. Unless that's changed in the last year, he says as he turns to Theoben.
No, we got him.
You don't have electricity, but you have airships?
Yeah, that's weird.
Can we please see them? Maybe?
The airships?
Sure, let me just talk to my airship
Yes.
guy. Wait, we don't have. They belong to the country. They don't belong specifically to us.
I thought you all traveled by Mir, though. Didn't you use the Alluvions? Is the
Yeah.
Mir at Tevinter still there?
I mean, it was in the Archon's estate. I don't know what he did with it.
What, like some kind of teleportation?
As such, yes.
Okay, Theoben will explain to you that each of the Pentavi Guardians has their own key into the Alluvion network. What is an Alluvion network? He will ask.
They look like giant mirrors. You shouldn't throw arrows into them. That kind of breaks them. Go through, and it essentially works similar to teleportation. It takes you through a different Alluvion, and you come out. It's essentially like anchored to one location, and you go through it, and it brings you to another Alluvion, which takes you to that location.
How do you explain that?
Magic.
Can we use that to go get the plates? Because we kind of might die without them.
We have an Alluvion in Tevinter. I don't currently know the fate of it. Last it was in the Archon's estate.
What I'm trying to say is you guys have figured out how to make more Alluvions. So
Yeah.
you can...
That was something Violetta and I were also doing.
Yeah, Violetta and Andrea can make more. So you are able to make your own network. You can just be like, here, have a mirror, unbeknownst to them. They
It
can
was
use it to sneak.
necessary, guys. My territory is huge.
Yeah.
It's like 15 countries.
The note that I definitely wouldn't have walked. I probably would have had a secret mirror made.
You get Alluvion. You get Alluvion.
Okay.
I'm sure you could have gotten your own mirror to travel to Venter if you wanted to. It's just more convenient that way.
I have one in winter.
Which is a surprise to Theoben.
Well, that's
I
good.
didn't know this. Kenna, why didn't you inform me on your Alluvion whereabouts?
It was a secret.
Well, in which case we can help, I suppose.
Thank you.
It shouldn't be much. I mean, if it's just in your safe, you know the combination, I'm sure.
Yes, of course I know the combination. I just don't know if I'm still a wanted man over there and would be shot down as soon as I was seen.
You just tell us the combination and we just unlock it. Then you don't have to go.
Well, Kenna, you go to Tevinter all the time, so people there like you. So
I do.
I figure that you know that if there was something at his old estate, you probably would be the best you could walk around to Venter and nobody cares. In fact, people actually will probably do whatever you say because you actually are giving them light when they need light and giving them dark when they need dark. So
Another secret, people like me in Venter. So,
Don't tell Cedric.
please don't tell Cedric. But yes, I could get us there. Secret.
I think you actually have. I don't want to name who it is because I want to be able to reserve the right to name the person till season 3. But the magister, the great magister there, is actually in good favor with Kenna.
Oh,
Wow.
Very
friends
good
in
favor.
high places. Moving on up.
It's fine. I work for Don't Forge Cast.
Well, Kenna, here's the combination. If you think you can get to my estate and find the safe that's in my basement.
I'm sure Andrea knows where that is. Right?
I'm sure she can point. Yes, I'm sure she knows where that is.
Where are Andrea and Cedric anyway?
Who knows?
They went
And
off
Chase.
with your friend Chase. She said they need to do some magics.
Oh, all right. Give him some privacy.
You know, married couples got spice up,
Magic.
guys.
Is magic dangerous?
Cedric is with them. I don't think that there's much to worry about. He is a Templar after all. Otherwise, he'd be a rather lousy Templar at that.
He is not that.
Chase, you and Andrea, where exactly is this happening? Where did you actually take him on the map?
In Andraste Chapel.
I take him to the beach.
To the
That's where
beach?
Yeah.
All right.
because She uses the water.
So you're out in the open. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I take him to the beach and I, gesture that he should sit. And I'll sit before him and kind of raise my hands up so he can touch his hands to my hands. And I'll kind of nod at Cedric. Thank you.
He puts his hands up against yours. They're a little
Okay.
warm. Not hot,
Okay.
just warm.
Well, she's very cool. Supernaturally cool.
She is very cool.
Yeah, I found a balance.
She's an ice mage. So she's going to kind of allow the water. I think the water around will start rippling, just with inherent magic. And she's going to say, "So I'm going to take you into the Fade. If this is your first time going in consciously, you are not alone. I'm going to keep you safe.
Fairly certain
All
I go in
right.
consciously every night. I might be okay.
Unconsciously is different."
No, consciously. I'm very aware every time I go into the dream world. All 5 of us go. We talk to each other.
That's interesting. She's like, well, let me explain. Demons feed on negative emotions. They will come for us if you focus too much on the negative. You have to focus on your bravery, on your belief. All right? And focus on me, because I've done this once or twice. So, all right? I'll lead you. And we do have a spirit watching over us. So you should be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like we have more than one spirit watching over us.